Welcome back to another episode of Fresh Out of College, your weekly dose of sports and pop culture. My name is Drew Campbell, and I am joined by my co-host, Ryota Nishino.
For today's episode, we were joined by Luca Deza, who plays for Sevilla FC Femenino. She had an amazing career at UC Berkeley, and it will be making her professional debut this upcoming year.
Yeah, we had a really good conversation with her. She walked us through her recruiting process, her time at California, and what it means for her to be a pro. As well, we talked about her aspirations off the pitch. It was a really good conversation. We enjoyed her coming on, and let's just hop right into it.
Hello, everybody. Today we are joined by Luca Deza, who just signed her first professional contract with Sevilla FC. She went to UC Berkeley and has quite the resume, so we're really excited to have her here. So first off, Luca, we are curious to see, how you kind of got into the game of soccer and if you had, any childhood memories growing up.
Yeah, so first off, thanks so much for having me. I kind of got into soccer right off the bat, like I'm talking year two. Soccer has been a sport that is just in my family blood. I'm half Spanish, so soccer in Spain is a huge deal. So from the age of 2, basically, my dad put a ball in my feet and kind of just started right off the bat.
Nice.
Very cool.
That's really cool. I kind of want to get into, so you went to Cal Berkeley because I kind of stalked you. I stalked you a lot. So I know your ins and outs, but I kind of want to know your recruitment process and how that was like. So from high school to, signing a letter of intent to go to college. When did that start for you and how was that process like?
Yeah, basically the college recruitment process started really early on. I was lucky enough to be playing for a really great club. We won a national championship and we had a lot of college scouts looking at us in a variety of different games. So I was really lucky. And so basically it started my freshman year of high school, probably first semester. I started looking at colleges 8th grade already, which is pretty crazy. And I am happy with the new rules and regulations set by the NCAA and everything with the changes. Because when I was in 8th grade, I was like, what even is college? Like, I was touring all these different universities without even knowing, like, where am I? It was pretty crazy. But then, a freshman year of high school, I started looking into different schools. And honestly, I was pretty overwhelmed. So I was like, I want to stay in California. Let me just narrow down my choices. So I went with Stanford, UCLA, and Cal. And I was like, just going to go with these 3. Can't really go wrong. I want to stay in California. And so I toured those 3 colleges. I was lucky enough to be recruited by all 3. And at the end of the day, I just kind of felt home at Berkeley and made a great decision.
That's awesome. And then you said you felt you overwhelmed through the process. Did you have some of your other teammates that were being recruited and you could like go through that process together? Or was it more of, this is kind of like what I'm going to do? Like, talk to me about, did you have like support in that area, either with teammates or with your family or with other coaches that leaned on you and had conversations throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had the support of, my closest friends, my family, but in terms of like it being a topic of discussion for talking about it with teammates, not really a thing. I think it's kind of like an unspoken type of thing because it's almost like applying for a job in a sense. Like it's just a bit of a subject where you're not going to other people and you're like, oh, well, are you being looked at by so-and-so? Because I am, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like that conversation that you don't really have with your teammates. Although like, obviously when you're going through the commitment process, everyone, they were all super, super supportive, so much love there and vice versa for them. So.
Nice. And you played forward, right? For your club team?
I played attacking mid for my
Okay.
club team, and then also attacking mid for Cal.
Nice. And then you're playing defender for Sevilla.
That is actually pretty crazy that you just got that because it's super new. So,
Nice. Well, what can I
good
say?
job, good job on the heavy stalking. But yeah, actually right now I'm playing right and left back, kind of just trying out that position because we have a lot of attacking mids in Sevilla right now. So I've been kind of having fun with that position and we'll see where it takes me. Yeah, just kind of want to play where the team needs me most. And at this point, it's where the team needs me most right now.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. And then how about, let's go on to, so what drew you to California was obviously, the home of California where you grew up and where you call home. But were there other, like, was that the only factor? Was the factor just, California, or was it also, the academics, the prestige? Because I mean, all of these schools are great schools.
Yeah.
And I know I'm probably just nitpicking here, but so you can just say, no, this is just overwhelming. But what was there anything other that swayed you to California compared to Stanford or the other schools?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great question. I mean, like you said, you can't really go wrong in terms of like the academic prestige of UCLA and Stanford, great schools. The thing is, I grew up in the Bay, and I'm not sure if you're super familiar with the Bay Area, but it's super different. Like you can have Belmont, California, which is where I'm from, or you can have Berkeley or Oakland. They're just very different, but they're still in the Bay Area. And then you can have San Jose. So I grew up in the Bay Area that is very. It was not as diverse. I went to a private school, all girls Catholic, very small. And when I went to Stanford, it was also a private school, bigger, of course, but I kind of got the same type of like vibe, same type of feeling as when I did in high school. And the biggest thing for me is like, I wanted to change. I wanted to go somewhere where I almost felt uncomfortable, because when you feel uncomfortable, that's where you grow the most. So I wanted to go to a place where I felt just a little bit uncomfortable, but also felt like, yeah, this could be my home. And Cal was just perfect for that.
That's great. Well, congrats on that. And your career speaks for yourself at Cal. Just an amazing career. And it's sad about, the whole COVID thing. How was, your senior year in COVID and kind of that process? Because I know everything was changing, so much uncertainty, but kind of walk me through that season during the COVID era.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was no season.
Oh, yeah.
I always, had this vision ever since I came in as a freshman, like, oh my God, my senior year, I'm going to kill it. I want to have this amazing last season. I just want to be able to really just show out for the school, especially. But unfortunately when COVID hit, it was just complete disaster, just turmoil everywhere. And we didn't really know, are we even going to have practice? And we didn't for the longest time. So during that time, I kind of had to make a decision, kind of sit down with my family, reflect a lot, and go kind of listen, am I going to go months without practicing? Or am I going to kind of take this risk and try and just go professionally without having my last season, which is it's a huge jump, because typically your senior year is like when you basically have your chance to kind of show out and show that you're ready to play professionally. And I'm very lucky to have had a pretty good junior season. So fortunately, I kind of made the decision to take that leap. I got called by the coaches of Sky Blue FC, which is a pro team in the NWSL in New Jersey. They kind of called me, told me basically 3 days, pack my bags, head over to take a one-way ticket. And, in a couple of days, there it was, packed my bags and went to New Jersey. I spent I think it was a month, maybe 2 months. I'm going to give it a month there. Grew a lot. It was amazing experience. And then from there, got a call from Sevilla to do the same thing, one-way ticket to Spain. And I did that, and I'm lucky enough to still be here. So, yeah.
Nice. Racking up the miles for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you were practicing with Sky Blue, were you able to practice with some of those big names? Because I think Carly Lloyd is technically a Sky Blue player, right? And Mal Pugh.
Yeah, I did practice with Mal, yeah.
Okay, was that a pretty cool, was that like a wow experience? Because I figured I mean, these are some of the top players in the world, so I'd figure it's kind of a shocking moment, maybe.
I mean, I didn't get to practice with Carly, but yeah, I practiced with Mal. She's great, amazing player. Super lucky. There's a lot of amazing players on that team. So yeah, I wouldn't say I necessarily I'm like, wow. I think I was more wow of like everything
Mm-hmm.
player, but all the players, the coaching staff, the just kind of like the privilege of just being there. That was the wow factor for me. So
Mm-hmm. Great. And it seems like you had some experience, working through the academy, and when you're like 15 and 18, I think I read on the Sevilla website, you had to, you got to practice with the US, academy team. So was that a really good, helpful experience in your development also?
yeah, I grew up going to in and out of a few national team camps, U15, U16, U18. My freshman year, the under 20 women's national team. So a lot of experience with that, and it's always great to kind of see where you compare with the best players in the country of your age. And yeah, it's always an honor to wear the crest, and yeah.
Nice. What about your going back to Cal, because I'm so enamored by it. What can you tell me about your first goal, and how like what you were feeling, and exact precision on the field you were, just so I can get this.
My first goal.
Or maybe scoring the opening goal against UCLA, how that feeling was, and that whole game, that big upset as well.
Yeah, I would say the UCLA one was probably more memorable, just because the aura of the game, the setup was amazing. They had a packed stadium, and I think it's always a great rivalry, Cal versus UCLA. And our team, we just kind of came in with a different mentality, like, oh, okay, it's gonna hit different this time. Like we're really gonna go full force. And when it was actually a cross, and it kind of just I'm not gonna lie, it kind of just landed like right in front of me, and it bounced, and I hit it off, and it went in, and I was just like, it happened so early in the game that I was just like, oh my God, I did not just score right now. Like it was like kind of that moment. It wasn't even like excited. I was just more like did I just score? Like it was like 7 minutes in. And yeah, it was just the best feeling, being able to celebrate that feeling with my teammates. And then to be able to do that on their turf, especially, it was great.
Oh yeah, that's surreal. Wow, I'm just getting goosebumps while you're reliving that. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And then you also, I think in the same season, you upsetted well, another like number 4 seed USC. How was that game? Like, what's the biggest rivalry? Is it USC, UCLA, or is it Stanford?
I mean, I would say
three.
in terms of like rivalries for like schools, it's definitely Cal Stanford.
Okay.
I think soccer wise, like we have a pretty big rivalry with UCLA and USC and basically all the California schools. But this season, the last one, my junior season, was incredible because we won against UCLA and USC, which hasn't happened since like God knows when. And I have just been like waiting, like all my years at Cal, my freshman year, sophomore year, like we never beat UCLA once. We never beat USC once. Like, and then in the same season, it just so happened like we won against both, and I was able to score in both. So I was just so happy, over the moon about that, and just being able to kind of just make a difference in that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I was able to play in high school, I don't even know. I was on the bench, so I was like, just all of, everything that you're reliving. I couldn't even relive, but I just, as a fan, I just get so excited when, we're going up against a rivalry team or something, and you win. It just brings off a different energy for sure.
It's a whole different feeling. Yeah.
What about your time playing? Sorry, Riyad, I'm talking a lot, but
It's okay.
I have a lot of questions. What about playing as a freshman for Cal?
I was intimidated for sure. As a freshman, I came in not knowing, much, just being very, very naive. And I was also like very unfit. Like I just didn't run a lot. And when I was like, I'm going to be completely transparent. I was pretty unfit. I just didn't run a lot in club. And then when you get to the college level, it's just kind of like, yeah, you got to run. You got to run. So I think it was a huge like learning process freshman year of just kind of fitting into the school, even too, academics, everything. It was a huge learning experience. And I would just kind of say that's how my freshman year went, to be honest. It was great playing as a freshman and being able to get those minutes. I think it's pretty rare that a freshman gets that many minutes, and I was able to start that many games. So I'm very, very lucky to have had that opportunity, and played all right. So.
Okay, so obviously this is your first season with Sevilla. What are you most excited, or what are some of your personal goals for this upcoming season?
Well, first off, to play. As simple as it sounds, I haven't played a football match in almost a year because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's one thing to be practicing, and then it's another thing to head on a pitch against a professional team. And never playing professionally before, it's gonna be quite the experience. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. And yeah, it has been a really, really long time, so I'm really excited for that.
Very cool. I'm kind of curious. Obviously, Drew and I have very limited experience being professional athletes. So we were wondering what that feeling is like. Is it that much more different than, doing college soccer?
Yes, because it is your job.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer, of course, it's always going to be your passion. I'm always gonna, wake up and be super lucky that I get to have this as my job. But also it is, at the end of the day, it's a job. It's very result driven. So you need to perform, you need to do well. You can't be like slacking off. You really got to take care of your body. It's just a different level. And that's the reason why, you think about all the different college athletes who want to be pro, the percentage that actually make it from college to pro is 0.01%,
Mm-hmm.
because that step to be a professional is the dedication that it takes, the focus, the drive. It's a different level.
Gotcha. And what's the day-to-day, like, so obviously you're in Spain right now and practicing. What does a day-to-day look like? Is it, 8 to 5 p.m. all training, lifting, whatever it might be, or do you have a little bit more free time?
Yeah, so we have practice. It depends. Sometimes it starts at 9, sometimes 10. And then I don't get back home till like around 2 p.m. So that's not too bad, 9 to 2. And then I was also finishing my degree. I just finished my last final yesterday. So
congratulations.
Congrats.
So yeah, and then I'm also in 2 part-time jobs, and I'm also the president and founder of the Cal Sports Marketing Club. So to say I don't have a lot of time would be an understatement. But with that being said, to answer your question, we're lucky enough to have time after. So we end at 2, we get home, we get to shower. And I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, I'm done with training. Like, I'm just going to like mope around for the day. I'm like, no, I want to get stuff done. I want to feel productive. And that kind of translates from your life as a college athlete. Yeah. You're going from practice, not being able to even shower, to like walk to your class, to go to your other class. Oh my God, I have to eat lunch. Like you're like running to the cafe. Oh my God, I'm late. Okay, I got to go to class. And then you get home and you're like, okay, it's dinner time. Oh wait, I need to study. So it's like, that was kind of the life of like a college athlete. So I just kind of like want to keep that momentum and like keep being productive with my day.
I think you bring up a really good point. Sorry, Drew. Being a college athlete, there's a lot of things that you learn from it. Like time management, I think, is one of the most important things you learn out of, playing sports, or even just in high school or middle school. And that's why I feel like sports is so encouraged by parents, because it teaches you a lot of life lessons, work ethic, time management. And when I played D3 baseball, so it's not nearly as, time consuming as D1 soccer, but it's still, there's just so much time management that's required. And I'm still awed by how D1 athletes manage their time, because I thought I had a difficult time at the D3 level, but, our sports are probably 50%, of, what a D1 player does. So it's pretty amazing, I think.
Well, to touch on your point though, like, D3 players dedicate so much time to the sport and they do not get enough recognition. I'm going to just have to cut you off there, because there is not enough recognition, and just, I don't know, I just have to say it, because I mean, I'm sure you know how it is, but you guys spend so much time doing almost practically the same thing that we do, but you have to pay for your own gear. You don't get the priorities that we are lucky enough to get. You don't get, the facilities that we're lucky to have. And it's just a little bit underrated. So I had to point that out there.
Thank you. It's cool that we get a D1 athlete advocating for D3 sports, because I think there is a big division, and I personally like going through the system. I think it's a little unfair, but at the same time, like the talent level is, so different. So there's always that argument. I can always see it that way, because I'm not going to ever play for UW baseball, like, something like that. But it is. I think it is cool.
It's important that people, no matter if you're D1, if you're a professional, D2, that you're not looking down on somebody who's playing D3 saying, oh my God, they're so much worse, or they, you know what I mean? Like, that just can't happen. I feel like there are a lot of people that might be playing D1 and they're just like, they don't realize the amount of time that you guys do dedicate to the sport as well. So
definitely.
That's great. Honestly, it's like you guys are all playing the sport you love and at a high level. And you guys it's basically like working a part-time job. And you're working 2 of them already. So definitely time management and the love for the game perseveres you guys all through it. How long have you been in Sevilla for?
I have been in Sevilla for just around 3 months, 2.5 probably. Yeah.
And obviously I know COVID is taking a big chunk of that, but have you been able to go see the city and be able to hang out with your teammates?
Yeah, I've made like very, very close friends on this team. And it's pretty rare that you get a lot of English speaking people on a professional Spanish team. but yeah, we have like a little squad of girls that speak English, but also I'm like really learning Spanish a lot. So like I have really close friends that are from Spain as well. And yeah, the culture of this team and the people in Sevilla is incredible. I have yet to see anything like it. The people are very super kind, very curious people. Like they love like asking questions. They love talking to you. They love it's great. The atmosphere here is amazing and the city is just beautiful. I mean, I'm looking at it now with COVID, so I can't imagine how it is when there isn't COVID, but there's so much life to it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of going off of that note, are fans allowed into stadiums in Spain right now?
No, not right now.
Okay.
So I've been kind of supporting the team as one of the only fans. So I'm like having to be a little bit louder watching the games of the team. And I'm like, wow, I can't imagine like if I am debuting and like it's not there are actual fans. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna because I'm like so used to just seeing like this beautiful stadium, like this nice grass, but like no fan. And I'm like, that would just make me feel a bit more calm to start out.
Right.
But there is like this break of, we have this Christmas break. And the first game I can play is January 6th. So I'm like, oh my goodness, if there's like they're allowing fans come start January, I'm going to be like even like so nervous.
How big were the crowds at UC Berkeley? Like 2,000, 1,000?
I mean, it depends on the game. Not too much, 2, 3.
Gotcha. So it'll be a big jump because I mean, soccer fans are, I think, the most energetic and most fun atmosphere to be in compared to baseball or I guess football is kind of up there in America, but I mean, worldwide soccer is definitely one of the best fan bases to be in.
I mean, football is it's a global sport. The amount of love for the game is just uncomparable. And people don't see that in the United States because it's so we're very consumed with all our different sports that we have. But now I think with the rise of the US women's national team and like that having a little bit more getting a little bit more traction, I think people are starting to kind of get more into the game of football. So I'm loving that.
Kind of going off a similar note, I think I read online. So you're from the US. You also have some Spanish and Japanese background.
Yes.
So have you chosen, if you were to play for a country, which country you'd play for?
I do not know that yet.
Okay.
That's probably going to come. Yeah, I'm probably going to come a little bit later. Can't expose it yet as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But make sure you tell us first and we'll get there. Get the break.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's you're thinking about that is, I'm assuming winning a gold medal or a World Cup is probably a big goal of yours too. Something you want to cross off.
Definitely.
Very cool.
Have you seen the schedule yet? Like, do you know what other places you're going to go to travel, or is it going to be mostly in Sevilla?
Well, we travel a lot. So
perfect.
I mean, we play FC Barcelona, Madrid. I mean, we go all over Spain, so
it's gonna be incredible experience. I guess you do need to know a lot of Spanish for that. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm like, I would say I'm like almost. I mean, if any of my teammates see this, they're gonna laugh. But I would say I'm like almost fluent.
That's good.
My Spanish is pretty good.
So. I mean, you can trick us. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I probably could trick you guys, but can't trick my teammates.
Did you take Spanish in high school or college, or is it all just in this 3 months? Okay.
I did take Spanish in high school and in college.
Okay, that's good.
And my father's Spanish, so but you don't get the learning that you do until you live there. Like I have learned more living here in like the first week than I did like years of Spanish class,
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Well, you're doing big things. We're really excited. We're definitely going to check out your first game. And that's January 6th, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, nice.
I'm just curious to hear, obviously professional soccer is a huge part of your life, but I was wondering, are there any goals beyond that? What's after soccer? Is it going to start your own club, be a coach?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm really into business. I created the Cal Sports Marketing Club at Cal, which is basically a club dedicated to kind of helping student athletes prepare for life outside of sports. So we're talking like resume building, interview workshops, LinkedIn prep, and then we also try to get like the best of the best in sports business as guest speakers. So I'm very passionate about business and marketing, management. So that's kind of I'm hoping to really get into that. And I don't really want to put every single one of my passion into one thing. I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, I'm only really good at this one thing, but they don't explore what other passions they have. And it's not until like you really get into that you're like, oh, wow, like I do have this love for this other thing. I do have this passion for another thing. And it just gives your life more purpose. So.
Cool. We love those big aspirations. We'll give you a call when Drew and I start our own marketing agency and see if we can get you on board. But
perfect.
I think, yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot about you already in this 30 minutes. Pretty cool. And obviously one of our goals, at the podcast is to highlight women's sports, because obviously it's just so male dominated, especially in the media. So do you have any advice to people who want to play professional, women's soccer, or just professional, women's sports in general?
Yeah. I mean, I would just say continue working and just be patient with yourself, because things like this, it takes time. And I'm the type of person that I'm like, I'm very competitive, and I'm driven, and I'm very result driven. So basically I'm like, I want to see results now. I'm like, I will work really hard, but I want to see it now. That's just not how life is. So I would say to anyone that's like watching, wanting to be a pro, like keep working, trust the process, as cheesy, as corny as that sounds, and just be patient.
Very well said. Very well said. Thank you, Luca, for coming on. We appreciate your time. We know you are very busy. Keep killing it in Sevilla. And we look forward to watching you on TV, and hopefully keeping in touch throughout your career. And I mean, the sky is the limit for you. And you've proven that in each single step you've taken in high school and college and now in the pros. So we've just met you, but we're very proud of what you're doing, and we hope you keep in touch with us, and just best of luck.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having me.